Hey guys, just want to give a huge thank you to everyone who's been watching Title Match Wrestling. We just hit a huge milestone today, 20 million views, and it's all because of you. So to celebrate, we're going to count down 20 must-see videos from our channel, Title Match Wrestling. Direct links are in the description below. Subscribe now and you'll get new clips just like these every Monday, Wednesday, and Sunday. And if there's something you want to see, just let us know in the comments below. Number 20, a man who's coming back to SmackDown. This is his first time in the WWE since 2010. The gold standard himself, Shelton Benjamin.
The last I checked, there are only two people there that I know personally. That's Orton and Cena. And I've worked with Orton and Cena a million times, so I'm happy to work with anyone. But for me, as far as my career goes, whoever's the champ, the WWE Tag Team Champs, I'll be happy to work with them, but I want to work with the World Heavyweight Champ. So that's really the only incentive I would have if I was going to go back, is to work with the champ.
Number 19, NXT's latest acquisition, formerly with the Houston Texans. He was trained by Booker T. It's a guy we've been covering since day one. We guarantee you're going to see a whole lot of the Shogun, Marcellus Black.
Actually just moved down to Orlando about a month ago. My tryout in February went extremely well, and I'll be starting at the Performance Center any day now. The biggest thing I'm looking forward to is just being able to seize the opportunity. I know there's some spots open. They're going to be moving a lot of guys around in the roster in the next couple of months. So I'm going to go there with the same work ethic that I brought here. I'm gonna, grind every day, and I'm gonna represent Houston in the reality of wrestling as best I can.
Number 18, arguably the greatest promo man in the business, Hall of Famer Jake the Snake Roberts.
She got to the car, she's like, what'd you want me to meet you out here for? Well, I didn't think this was appropriate to do inside. She's like, what? I'm like, come here. Get down on it. Get down on it. Sorry, you said it was okay. And so she did, and I said, don't spit it out. You save that for Rick. When he kisses you and he's laying you down, you tell him what you did. See, that's when I realized I was a drug addict.
Number 17, it's one half of the most dominant tag teams in professional wrestling history, Road Warrior Animal.
I know you've been asked about this somewhat recently, but I have to ask you about the comments from this tag team, The Ascension, where they're bringing up the Road Warriors. I know it's all part of the show and everything, but how do you feel about those guys? Do you think they're ever going to be Road Warrior material?
Do I think they're going to be Road Warrior material, The Ascension? No, I don't. And I'm not saying that against The Ascension. They're two good guys, went to wrestling camp. They all mean well. But there's certain, I should say, genres or certain levels in pro wrestling that you should not touch. You should not touch a Hulk Hogan or a Ric Flair or The Rock or Stone Cold. And you should not touch the Road Warriors.
Number 16. What list wouldn't be complete without the genetic freak himself, Scott Steiner? Holla if you hear me.
Like that? It didn't work.
Hey, turn that fucking music off! I don't like that fucking song.
Why would he say that?
He doesn't care for the song.
Number 15, 1/3 of 3MB and the latest member of Monday Night Raw. First time back in 2 years, it's Jinder Mahal.
At that time, it was Jack Swagger was under Zeb Coulter, and they had Antonio Cesaro. So I actually had an idea where Zeb brings me in and says, I'm going to turn somebody into the next, I'm going to turn somebody into a real American. And that was going to be me with with my old gimmick, and I think it would have been good.
Number 14. This is one of the most watched and requested interviews on our channel. 3 hours long. Many have called it the best shoot on YouTube. Super rare interview with the late great Bam Bam Bigelow.
And it's just the ECW, man, is the closest thing almost getting killed because it was sick. Yeah. It was sick, man. Any guys like Sabu and guys that didn't care about other people's bodies, you know. I mean, I'm not saying that Sabu I had a lot of fun with Sabu, and I like him a lot. He's a good dude, man. It's just that, you know, that they have no respect for anybody else's body, man. You know, I mean, he one match with Sabu, he threw a chair and just whack, hit me right in the face, gave me a scar right here, you know, and that was it. I stopped the match. I picked the friggin' chair up. I walked right over to him, and it was like he had to give it to me because, you know what? Now you're getting your receipt because I didn't want that and deserve that. And he got a receipt. He got the whole fucking cash register. I drilled him, man. And that was the end of the chair shots.
Number 13. It's the Raging Bull, tough as hell and very underrated. His matches against Wahoo McDaniel are some of the most brutal images ever caught on video. Manny is a great friend of Title Match Wrestling and actually was the first interview we ever did 8 long years ago.
Leon White made it to WCW. He was hurting people, you know. It's one thing to get a job guy and make him look like you're gonna kill him, but not do it. He was hurting them. He broke the one kid's back. People were complaining. So Orndorff went to try to talk to him. Of course, big tough Leon White, shut up, you one-armed man, what the hell you gonna do about it? Oh God, did he find out. He beat him so lopsided they said he looked like the Elephant Man. And I could just remember a big old fat tub of goo, you know, getting beat up like that. I could just imagine, because Paul Orndorff's the worst guy you want to tell that to. He's tough as nails.
Number 12. The master of the 5-star frog splash, ECW standout the whole effing show, Rob Van Dam.
In the big picture, it's going to be good for him. So even if he ends up falling into a pattern where they're all behind him for a little while, and then it seems like, even if it seems like he's not winning as many matches later, which could or could not happen, but that often is the case, and then there's hurt feelings over it because promises were made and broken. This is a traditional kind of pattern, but regardless of that, it's going to be good for his career. Just being there in this short amount of time already, he probably has no idea how many millions and millions of more people saw him than ever would have saw him. That's what I'm talking about. People that haven't been there, they don't realize when they think they're good enough. Well, I have a good enough career. I'm busy enough. They don't realize people don't know who you are in Zimbabwe. They don't. But after being on WWE, you learn that there's countries where there's all these kids looking up to you, emulating you. You're their role model. You never even thought you would ever be there. You never even thought of their country, maybe never even heard of it. That's the power that WWE has. So overall, it's going to lead to him being a bigger star, and that's what it's all about.
Number 11. You can call them bad influence, call them the addiction. It's Christopher Daniels and Frankie Kazarian. You gotta call them entertaining.
And so this girl who went through rehab, and AJ was the sponsor, had a baby. And isn't it weird how this baby looks a little bit like AJ? And so it was gonna go from AJ's banging Dixie to AJ had an affair with this girl and had the baby, and then the end result was going to be basically Maury Povich, AJ Styles, you are not the father. Oh, you know, that was the idea.
Scumbags, and which ultimately would have been way better than what happened. And that was literally 3 of us sitting in a hotel room.
What if we did this?
What if we did this? And
how about this?
Yeah. Getting jazzed and bouncing at the idea, like he said, of it being somebody that was close to Dixie, who's an established someone that the audience cares about, would have came off way better. But that idea was thwarted.
All right, guys, now it's down to the final 10. Don't forget, you can always binge out in our archives. We got wrestling documentaries, interviews, TV shows, all 100% free. Just hit that subscribe button below and check out more Title Match Wrestling every Monday, Wednesday, and Sunday. Number 10. 3 million hits later, the Boogie Man is still scaring kids all over YouTube.
Come here!
enjoying yourself? How about? Who got a camera? Let's take a picture. You got a camera? You ready? You good? You ready? Put your hand up. Awesome, all right?
Thank you. What's up, Boogie Man? That's Boogie Man.
Number 9. A great friend to Title Match Wrestling who passed away way too soon. He left behind some of the most unforgettable matches and interviews available anywhere. We are proud to have him on our channel. It's Brian Knighton, aka Axl Rock.
I don't know, can you get it in? Well, basically what you're looking at here is, just layer upon layer of scar tissue from, you're talking Taipei death matches, barbed wire baseball bat matches, thumbtacks, but the biggest culprit to this general area was barbed wire. I mean, that's as you can see, the gashes and the gouges, and most people ask about, well, why are they all on this arm or not? Well, I have some on the legs and on the stomach, but generally they're on this side of my body because I would make a concerted effort if I was getting thrown into the barbed wire to turn my body, just because I didn't want to have, the scars all over me. I tried. I know that sounds crazy, but the truth is I tried to keep them in one, general area.
Number 8. Many in the business call him the greatest babyface of all time, one half of the Rock and Roll Express, a tag team who's been around more than 3 decades, the very underrated Ricky Morton.
My partner, Robert Gibson, really, truly tough son of a bitch.
Oh, yeah, who's got it tough?
Yeah, but
clumsy, but tough.
We go into Japan, and they have our first time there for Baba, and they got their Rock and Roll Express team, which they call Footloose. Okay, so, but when we go on tour, I know we got to work with them later on in the tour because they're Japanese because you can't call spots with them in the ring. So I'm watching them work. And about a couple weeks later, well, see, they're intimidated of us. We hadn't earned their respect because, we're the American boys. Our first time in Japan, we're working with guys underneath, da-da-da-da. So it comes the night to work with them. They want to try to intimidate us. And they don't know what we've been through. They don't have a goddamn clue. So we walk in the ring. Well, I walk up to them. I says, anything y'all want to do in the ring? They look at, no hot spot. We're doing a 30-minute Broadway. No hot spot. They just turn around and walk away. I said, okay, whatever. So we go to the ring, and the biggest one of the Footloose, I don't know what this motherfucker was on, or what he did, or what he was thinking.
He was Jap.
This dumb motherfucker.
He was on Jap.
Here I am, the little one. This sumbitch hauls off and open hands slaps Robert Gibson.
Oh!
He slapped him. The next thing I know, Robert had this son of a bitch bent over his head between the ropes. He's hitting this motherfucker, bam, bam. And I pull Robert off of him. This motherfucker looked like Elephant Man. His goddamn face all swelled up. Look here. They jump out of the ring and they run back to the dressing room. I looked at Robert, I says, well, I guess we're fired. He said, fuck, we was looking for a job and we found this son of a bitch. He says, come on, go with me. We jump right out of the ring. He goes back because they kayfabe.
Right.
We go straight in the Japanese boys' dressing room. Robert runs right over and kicks that motherfucker right in the head, back against the goddamn lockers. Ba-boom. Fuck, I got Robert. I get him back. I said, come on, who? And, then I'm sitting there, and Robert, fuck you Japanese motherfucking son of a bitch. He's cutting a goddamn interview on him. I get him, I pull him back. I get on the other side. I say, well, I guess we'll be going home tomorrow. On the thing.
Wow, you got over.
Look here now. The next day, the bus comes. We get on the bus. We're riding. We get to the town. We pull up to the building. I look out the window, and I see them two motherfuckers standing there. I says, Robert, they're fucking waiting on us. I said, God damn, we got to whoop her ass again and get off the bus. Look here. And boy, I'm ready to go. God damn, I'm all psyched up. I come off, me and Robert, first two off the goddamn bus. I said, fuck, we're going to show. We jump off the bus, they stood there, they go, I'm at the side, get the sign. Tonight we do very, very many high spots. Tonight we have the match. Look here. And I swear to God, the rest of the tour, they met us at every bus and carried our fucking luggage in the goddamn building. Every fucking night.
Number 7. This is from a show we ran in Norfolk, Virginia with VCW. The champion Cusick got into a full-out fight with one of the fans in the front row. Watch it for yourself and see why it might be the most watched video on the entire Title Match Wrestling channel. Number 6. Another extremely important figure in title match history, a man who many believe was misused both in WCW and in WWE, a guy who everyone can agree was way ahead of his time, Raven.
I certainly wouldn't have put a guy who's a hell of a talent like Wild Bill Irwin in a hockey outfit with hockey skate boots. Yeah, ridiculous. The guy was a hell of a talent. I mean, awesome talent, you know. But they took a lot of guys that were really talented territory guys and just abused them, you know. Rip Oliver, they did a number on him. Baron von Raschke was, you know, a legend, you know, as this. And they brought him in, took away his German accent, made him look like the Emperor in Star Wars. He was a major heel in Canada. I mean, he was a big star. But they brought him in and made him like, you know, this filthy, you know, looking animal. You know, Terry Taylor was a big star, you know what I mean? UWF, you know. It was, and they made him into the Red Rooster. And his first run was with the Brooklyn Brawler that he did the job for, I think. So, you know, that's not going anywhere.
Number 5. Here's one we split with RF Video back in the day, up there with probably the most controversial videos on our channel, representing the NWO and DX. It's Kevin Nash and Sean Waltman. And if you like this, you'll want to check out our new X-Pac interview from this year, available in its entirety right here on Title Match Wrestling.
What I liked somewhat about Paul Lee's interview he did on this one show, like a Canadian show. I thought, okay, I disagree with a lot of his shit, but like, you know, he talked about chopping their fucking heads off, all the guys that were over 40 or whatever. I mean, he was generalizing, and he is, you know, Paul Lee. But
I was going to ask you about your thoughts on, you know.
But you know what?
What I say?
He looks into the future, and you can't keep fucking capturing lightning in a bottle.
And I agree. I would say to Paul Lee, I will fucking totally agree with that analogy, as long as you're the first one in the guillotine, motherfucker, because you're over 40. And when I watch your bullshit on fucking Sunshine fucking Wrestling, and a guy hit a 450 this, and another guy did this, and another guy did this, and a guy went through a flaming table, and a guy went through concertina wire, and the finish was a fan hit you with a plastic fucking Tyrannosaurus Rex, and you got schoolboyed. Fuck you. You're not a genius. You're a fucking idiot. Nobody got paid. You guys never fucking made any money. You haven't drawn shit. Fuck you. You're ugly. Get hair plugs. And if I ever go to work for you, I'll smack you on day one and fucking leave.
He buried the fuck out of me, by the way.
Did he bury you?
Yeah, and I can't figure out what it was except for maybe when I said
Must have fucked one of his girls.
No.
That was a joke.
He did bring me some really good pot one time. I thought he was working me too, because it was like really small and it cost a lot of money.
Number 4. This is the first ever Title Match Wrestling documentary. An unsung hero of professional wrestling and a 40-year veteran. This is George South, starring in The Ropes.
George is one of the greatest guys that there ever has been in this business.
Realistically, it's the only job I've ever had. A lot of concussions, you know, a lot of cracked ribs. That's like a given. This Christmas, which is coming up, will actually be 38 and a half years that I've been a pro wrestler. The first question out of anybody's mouth is that stuff fake? Everybody says, well, you know how to land. And that doesn't mean you don't feel it.
Back body drop puts him through the ladder.
And I've been knocked out by Ultimate Warrior, been hit by some of the toughest guys, Big Sid Vicious. There's nothing fake about what we do. I saw a lot of tough men go out there and just beat each other to death because that was their livelihood. It used to be an old-timer, and this was my favorite line. Wally Cusick, who was in the 40s and 50s and worked Luthez, he's passed away now, but he used to tell somebody, he'd say, do you still beat your wife? If you say, no, I don't beat her, then did you used to? You know, if you say, well, yes, I still beat her, so you can't win. So I learned that over the years that if they ask me if it's fake, I just say, well, do you still beat your wife?
Number 3. Along with RVD, our favorite wrestler from ECW, super innovative, very underrated as well, a man who never speaks, but he did give one hell of an interview. It's the homicidal, suicidal, genocidal, death-defying maniac, the Houdini of hardcore, Sabu.
Were there any initial plans, like any feuds that they had lined up or what they wanted you to do?
Something with Vampiro. I wanted to do something with Sting, but they said no Sting, no Hogan. But something with Vampiro and something with, I think, Conan or somebody. So something kind of lame, but they thought it would save the company. So I said, all right, whatever you think, you know. I think it was Muda was in there at the time too. I think with me and Sting could have drew, or me and Hogan. No one would have ever thought Hogan would wrestle my style. And if he did a little bit of my stuff back then, he would have got over huge. I think he would have. You know, got over huger, because he did get over huge anyways, but I think he would have got over bigger, and the company probably would have went better, I think, you know, instead of dying. They lost $60 million. All they had to give me was $1 million. What's wrong with $61 million? Why couldn't they lose $61 million? So if I could have saved their company, who knows? You know, if they would have given me a chance to, you know. I was hoping to save their company. I know I could have, you know.
Had you been talking to some of the guys there too, like saying, you know, okay, we're going to work on
Yeah,
this? You know?
yeah. Mostly, well, see, the one that really set it up for me was Terry Funk. He set up the meetings and everything. Everything was secret through Terry Funk because he really wanted me to do well, and he felt I deserved it better than I was getting. And then it just fell through, you know.
Number 2, Heyo. One of the coolest cats we've ever had the pleasure of talking with, one of the best wrestlers and minds in all of wrestling. It's a man who legitimately changed the game, one and only Scott Hall.
And God bless the Young Bucks. I'm looking forward to seeing those cats at WrestleCon. They have been taking care of Cody and hooking him up, and they bring him to the ring. They said, I DM with him, and he said, he's like our Diesel. Like, those cats consider themselves the Rockers, but they're both Shawn. They're so cocky, they're so great. They know how to entertain and get over, and they show my kid love, so I got nothing but love for them.
Now that you brought them up, I know some veterans have been somewhat critical of
who, Cornette?
Yeah, I know.
He probably buries me too. But you know what, Cornette, you're not always right. You have to realize that the business has changed. You either adapt or you get left behind. A lot of these guys didn't come up in territories now. We all, Cornette, guys like me, all that, we had the advantage of coming up in territories with a TV-driven story where your role on the card was you're on second. You don't dive out of the second row because guess what? They're doing that in the main event. They'll do it once a night. It was a whole different deal. How many guys don't super kick? You can name the guys who don't. Back then, back in the day with Shawn, nobody else did it. That was it. But now, these guys are competing on this independent scene to get over. So they go like, screw you, man, I'm doing my shit.
And number 1, 2 guys we owe so much to, Booker T, Stevie Ray. This is their final match together as Harlem Heat, and this night meant so much to us. Reality of Wrestling is a place that we call home. You can watch exclusive reports from the Row right here on the Title Match Wrestling channel, and definitely subscribe to Reality of Wrestling on YouTube. You can get full episodes on their channel. This is Booker T and Stevie Ray, the Final Heat.
It was great, you know what I mean? It was unbelievable. Just that feeling, just getting down for the Spinneroonie tonight. I felt like I was back in the Sportatorium there for a second. Actually, I had a flashback, you know. So, just 25 years of doing this, being in this business. It's been so great, and to actually finish it here in Reality of Wrestling. Something that we've been building for about 10 years now. It's an awesome feeling. Just to see the growth of what we're doing here is awesome, and to go out and work with the Heavenly Bodies to see the growth of those guys as well was unbelievable. It's just been an unbelievable night for me, and I'm just going to take it in and you know, and I'll cherish it for the rest of my life.
You know, I share the same sentiments as my brother. The heavenly bodies are formidable opponents, but you have to realize how bad we wanted this, how long we've been waiting for this, the build up to this. It was epic and nostalgic. So tonight, what we did not only was special to the fans, it's very special to us. Like my brother said, 25 years. And a lot of people don't know, when we started tag team wrestling, we didn't even think we were going to be tag team wrestlers. But one guy put us together because he had a vision. And that one guy's vision propelled us to where we are in the sport of professional wrestling. And that is something we'll always be proud of. So tonight goes full circle. Harlem Heat, Booker T and Stevie Ray, right where we've been for a long time, and that is champions of ROW, that is champions of WCW, that is champions of Global. So that means we've been full circle, and we've done it the hard way.
And remember, guys, that's only 20 videos. We've got hundreds on our channel. If you subscribe now to Title Match Wrestling, you'll get new clips every Monday, Wednesday, and Sunday. Thank you guys so much for the support. If you got any ideas for us, send them on over. Leave your comments. Share our videos. It's the best way to keep us alive. See you on the next clip.